to nail a Humphrey place. Shelton Bailance.
Good night, good night, good night. Good night, St. Michael South, good night. I want to welcome you all to my constituency. I want to say, of course, a very special good night to all the speakers who went before me. I want to acknowledge all of the candidates of the Barbados Labour Party who are here because we are one family. And I remember a year ago or so when we first were presented as the Total 30, ready to rescue a country from a band of... The night is young. We were ready to rescue this country from those who now take it to the pits. They said that we were going to fall apart, that the Barbados Labour Party would become weaker, but today we are stronger. They said that Mia Amor Mortley could not hold us. We now hold her. They said, because they had the lowest expectations for us, that we would be the kind of a party that the Democratic Labour Party has become. They are an embarrassment to Errol Barrow. And were we to exhume that great man's carcass, well, he's scattered on the sea. So if we were to somehow breathe life into him, he could not recognize this bunch. So I want to begin by thanking my fellow candidates who are here, because we are one big family, ready to do the work of Barbados on behalf of Barbadians. Of course, I want to thank my team. Because in 10 lifetimes, I do not know what I have done to deserve to be so blessed by Almighty God, to first put me here and to allow me to win a nomination when I was the last man to enter it, and to build a team this strong, this committed, and then to be part of a bigger team. It is not in my own spirit and work that I have done this. So I first want to acknowledge the hand of God in all that we do. And of course, I want to now tell you a bit about who I am. And I want to do so because during an election campaign, people will seek to define you. And when they don't have anything on you, they will tell lies. And there will be conjecture. And men will go to the depths of their imagination and create stories. Nobody will define Kirk Humphrey for Kirk Humphrey but Kirk Humphrey. And I am today what I was yesterday, and I will be the same thing tomorrow. And I have so much love in my heart for my people. And I have so much love in my heart for my team. And I walk with them every single day. And they know my trials. I do not pretend to be a perfect person. I never say that I have the answers to anything, because I know the answers lie in the people. And when I said that my slogan was going to be people over politics, it was not just a slogan. It is something that I fundamentally believe must be true. And that we stand here not because we are great, man. We stand here on the shoulders of men and women who allow us to represent them. And the only thing that they ask of us in return is that we give them good representation. And there's some people who believe that all politicians are the same. And there are some young men, unfortunately, and women, that all they know of Barbadian politicians is the last 10 years of this. And they believe that what we have now running Barbados is the best of the Barbadian political class. If not for me, or for the 30 other candidates, do it, the other 29 candidates, do it for the young people of Barbados. Give them an opportunity to see what service is. Give them an opportunity to understand what leadership means. Give them an opportunity to have their needs put first and have them recognized as being important parts of this society because they do not know. And I have come to Canvas and to meet young people who at 24, 25 are so hopeless. Never worked, can't find a job. They believe that this is the best of the Barbadian dream. If ever a sin was committed in Barbados, and this government is guilty of many, but if ever a sin was committed in this country, it is that we have separated men and women from their imagination and their capacity to dream and to believe that they can rise above their own circumstances in their own time. We have to do it for the young people because we cannot have this being what people think Barbados is. We cannot have people believing that this is the best we can do. And when we travel the Caribbean, those of us who travel the Caribbean, the first question that they ask, I think Chad mentioned it, is what happened to Barbados? There was a time we looked to Barbados for leadership. We looked to Barbados for hope and for guidance and for direction. And now we have a whole Caribbean not knowing where they should place their focus because the place of natural leadership is not leading. It has to change. And it has to change in the next general election. And you have the power to change it. You know, I don't just see this election as an election. We are fighting, as Mia says, for the soul of a country. This, to me, is a trial. And the Democratic Labour Party must be charged for abandoning the people of this country at the time they need them most. And the beauty about this thing is that you are the prosecutor. The beauty is that you are the jury. The beauty is that come election morning, you are the executioner. And you will deliver the judgment. X for Kirk Humphrey. X for Marsha Cattle. X for Santia Bradshaw. X for Cynthia Ford, Carrie Simmons, every single one, Boss State, do good. We bring it home all. And I respect the governance processes. I believe in a strong opposition. I do. I believe that a country is governed when they have a strong opposition. But this government is such a pathetic excuse for parliamentarians that I can see no reason why we should think that they would perform any better in opposition. Give us 30, and I promise we will take care of the affairs of the people because they have not been taken care of for over 10 years. And it is an important thing. This election comes at such a critical moment in our development as a country. This election is a defining moment in our history. We carry the hopes of a whole generation. There are people who say to me daily, I'm sure many of you hear it, that if the Democratic Labour Party wins this government, they don't know what they can do. Many people tell us that they will leave the country, a country that they love, a country that has held them for all of these years. They are so desperate, so disappointed, and so hurt that they imagine that the people in 2013 gave the Democratic Labour Party a chance that many of us think they did not deserve, but they gave them a chance. And we said, you know what? The electorate is right because it is their choice, and we will always respect the will of the electorate because that's what Barbadians do. And tonight I will remind you of what Barbadians do and who we are. But there are some who believe that in giving the Democratic Labour Party another chance, what they got in return. Nah, not nothing, man. They get things. Taxation. Sewage coming out the street. It killing you? It killing all of we. Potholes. Black businesses closing in droves. I mean, everything wrong. Proving the cynics right that no good deed goes unpunished. Because they gave them a chance, and in response, the Democratic Labour Party gave them pain. But we must not forget who we are as a people. And there is a narrative now, becoming the mantra of the Democratic Labour Party, that this is the way it is. Things can be no better. I know a country that was described by Kofi Annan, the General Secretary of the UN, that was said to be punching above its weight. A country so powerful that it became the example in textbooks taught at the best schools. They wanted to know how with such limited resources, such a small population, occupying such a small space, could achieve such greatness. That is who we are. Do not believe what the Democratic Labour Party would have you believe, that we can do no better than that which we are now doing. The truth is that they can do no better than that which they are now doing. Because you cannot expect a man to exceed his competence. And they are operating now at the margins of their competence. And there is nothing more left in the barrel. And not another chance for them. Not another chance for them. A woman told me the other day, well, Kirk, I half dead. We're going to let him kill me? You can let him kill you? I have a leader on my side with vision. We have a leader on our team who understands what it will take to lead people through what we are going through. On the other hand, there is somebody who refuses to engage, not a conversation. You ask a question, you are met with arrogance. Man, that's a transitory inconvenience. Somebody would describe a man whose money we invested in at Clico. Many poor Barbadians lost everything they had. Many. And the response that we got from PM man was, that man is my friend. Is he a leper? Should I abandon him? And poor people suffering. Now you understand where the loyalties lie. They do not lie with you. But I intend to walk with you every single day, every single night, for the next 5 years, for the next 10 years. And there is nothing that can be said or done to me in the next election, during this one, whatever, that could separate me from St. Michael's South 8 for the long haul. You know, people say to me, Kirk, you're running against the PM, you gotta be a brave man. Or, you know, he got a lot, he got a sack, he could give away things like Santa. So what is in the bag? Well, if he's Santa, what's in the bag? Every time he digs the quiver, sufferation, abandonment, disappointment. If he is Santa, we having a hard candy Christmas. And they ask me if I am not afraid. I don't fear no man. Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil. My God is with me. And I know in this election that Kirk Humphrey is on the side of right. And I have no fear. So I fear him not. He impresses me not. But I will rid myself and yourselves of him. Because St. Michael South deserves representation. And a man might think that because I'm on a political platform, I am exposing myself to some kind of grandeur. That I am exaggerating the facts. That I would say to you that the Prime Minister or the representative is absent from St. Michael's South. And people will say, it can't be true. I must be lying. A man cannot represent people for 9, 10 years now. Am I lying? Do you see the Prime Minister? When is the last time you can recall seeing him? I ever see? Do you intend to have 5 more years of that? Look, I came here tonight. I came here tonight charged really just to tell the truth. Because I know they will tell lies on me. And they will tell lies on Marsha because they don't know nothing about her either. And they will make up stories about Miss Motley. But we don't mind the lies. Let them tell the lies on us. We will tell the truth on them. And I do not mind it. Look, I don't care how much condemnation they throw our way. You know? I don't fear nobody for real. And I think about it all the time because I fear for Barbadians only because somehow we've allowed this Democratic Labour Party narrative to take hold in our spirits. That we can't do no better. So it is now crept into the Barbadian conversation. And it has now limited the Barbadian contemplation. And the consequences of such are severe. And we are duty-bound to rescue Barbadians from that. Look, I think about this thing. I lay in my bed and I think about the North. And I think about the South. And I say in the North, well, let me give them a chance. They got a man up there who was in Parliament for a long time. Kelman. Well, Peter Phillips is going to deal with him in short matter. But I think, before I go on the South, I wasn't even planning to think about this. But you know, what I'm just reminded of here is that I recall when they had a problem with water, just so you can understand the dismissive nature of how we are being treated, man. When people had a problem with water in the North, because I now live in St. James, and the water flowing through our taps was brown as brown can be. Kelman was on Facebook, bareback, drinking water, and there ain't anything wrong with my water on the day as God is my judge, was brown as brown can be. He drinking water, probably water from one of them purified things, and showing off. Man, I don't know what people complaining about and thing. You know, later that night, there was on the radio a news flash, and I swore I did not hope for it, but I thought it could have been. Somebody saying that the man from St. Lucie has a severe case of intestinal hurry or something, or in Bajan parlance that the Kelly got the belly. Because I could not believe that in the midst of people's sufferation, people don't have access to water. You on Facebook, instead of being empathetic as a leader should be, you on Facebook telling people about, well, I don't know what's wrong with the water. And the arrogance continues to the south. On the south coast, people jumping in the sea a year ago, trying to prove to people that nothing is wrong with the water, nothing that can't be raw sewage. And a year later, they now accept that it was. But you were dismissed. So what happens? You raise the issue, you get dismissed. You raise another issue, you get dismissed again. You raise another issue, you get dismissed again. It is as if they do not listen to anything you have to say. Well, if they want to dismiss you, I suggest to you that you dismiss them too. And I walk, wherever I go, people come up to me, They say, I don't know some of them. Mr. Humphrey, I want you to win this thing so bad. Everywhere. Mr. Humphrey, man, I'm suffering. I really want you to win. I want you to beat that man. So I want to say tonight publicly, thank you for your well wishes and for your support and for your prayers, and that I will do what you asked me to do because I'm a good, decent son of the soil. And I think about this constituency. I think about it all the time. And as a man who spent my life in social affairs and in community work, I see this constituency as waiting like a white sheet for me to paint on it. Like a canvas. I have so many ideas for St. Michael's South. I am excited about what we are going to do. I am thrilled about what we are going to do. Now, you've heard some of the things that we've done. Now, I want to talk a little bit bigger about some of the things that I feel we need to do as a country. In St. Michael's South, as is the case across Barbados, there are many young people who are not having access to the full potential of that which Barbados has to offer. And I would like to see education being brought to the community level. And in courses that are relevant to people's development, in Britain, still men like horse racing. I would love to see people being trained in things related to horse racing so that they don't only love it in practice, but they understand it. And that you allow them to get a certificate or a grade that allows them to then find their way into formal education and continue onward in their education and on to schools. I want to think about the people who spend their time doing jobs on the internet, not tying their salaries to the Barbadian economy, because to do so in 2018 is a risk. But there is a whole big world. And I have a friend here who told me very recently that cybersecurity is a whole new environment. And we should be teaching certain things in primary school, preparing our young people not for jobs that exist now, because many of them won't exist in 10 years. They won't exist in 20 years. We have to be preparing our young people for the jobs that will be created and exist in 20, 30 years. I knew a prime minister. I didn't know him personally, but I read about him. I knew a prime minister who said, we have to build a highway. Because the direction that Barbados is going, you need to have a highway that can handle the traffic. With 4 lanes, man. And people could not see it. They could not comprehend it. It was too big an idea for Barbadians to handle, some of them to handle at the time. But we have lived to see it come to pass. That this visionary, Tom Adams, a man living long before his time, would implement things that would benefit Barbadians now. No, we are now trying to make 4 lanes on a highway when a man saw it long before we even had the cars. When I say to you that we have to start preparing our country for things that the people cannot not yet see, it is not because I am crazy. It is because I believe where Barbados is going. We have to create a cadre of skilled people who can become productive in the new world. And people aren't running away from Barbados because things are expensive. But things are expensive. But if we develop the skills in Barbados, people will come and pay for them. We have to make it so that we sell our services and our products on the international market to people at what the prices are worth, so that Barbadians can afford then a decent standard of living, because you don't have to tax Barbadians to smithereens trying to make $1 because you are idealist. There is a whole new world waiting on people, and we must be prepared to embrace it. And in this whole new world, there are all kinds of wonderful things. But you cannot find yourself in that new world when your mindset is, this is the best, that we could do. You are not living the Barbadian dream, my dream, Roshana's dream, the dream of many people, that you can rise above your circumstances. So if I am to believe it as an individual, I must believe it for my country, that we can rise above where we are, and that where we now are is not who we are, and that who we are a strong, disciplined, proud, hard-working people, and that we will pull ourselves out of this mess with leadership. And on that note, I submit to you, there is only one choice. Mia Amor Motley. There is only one choice. We are having conversations about a 2050 Barbados, a 2060 Barbados. And we are living in a 2018 Barbados after 10 years of the Democratic Labour Party that feels like a 1950 Barbados. Instead of going forward, we have been brought back. And that's a fact. The economists will prove it. We have to do better than that which we have been doing. So I want to ask of you one thing, one simple thing. From the north to the south, and the east to the west, when elections are called, you have but one choice: to vote for the Barbados Labour Party wherever the Barbados Labour Party presents itself. All right then. All of these little problems in Barbados, things that should take a minute, taking forever to fix. She has a legitimate concern, as does many Barbadians. It is taking too long to do simple things. We must be able to do better than that in Barbados. Look, I love Barbados, you know. I love this country. I like St. Michael's South like you can't like it no more. I love this place. I spend all of my time here not by force. I spend my time here by choice. I am around the people not by force. I am around the people by choice. And there are some people that no matter what force you put behind them, they ain't spending no time around nobody, period. I tell you, people over politics is not my slogan only. It is something that I believe in my heart. That people are the crux of everything. And that even though I could tell you all kind of things about GDP and GNP and PPP, the only P that matters at the end of the day is people. And you cannot treat a people like Barbadians with such contempt. What has Barbadians done to you? What have they done to be treated with such contempt? And you must ask yourself, you know, because you are a thing of value. And nobody treats a thing of value the way we are being treated. And if you know that you are a thing of value, if you know that you are a precious commodity, Barbados has always said our biggest commodity, the thing we hold most dear, is our people. And in the last 10 years, we have relegated the people to nothing. It is worse than anybody could have imagined. And I know there were people who in 2008 were genuine in their desire to have a change. They felt that they would get a better deal. And would you believe what they got in the last 10 years was lies and deceit, followed then by arrogance and dismissiveness and despair, and then downgrades and downgrades. And if I keep saying downgrades, we'll be here till tomorrow. No country being downgraded this much ever in history. Look, at the end of the day, you have a choice. The contrast is now so clear. On the one hand, you have a people who care about your welfare and your well-being, who will go to the limits, the end of the earth to make sure that we rescue Barbados. We will get down on our hands, on our knees in the mire and pull this country up because Barbadians deserve it. And on the other hand, you have what you have had for the last 10 years. The contrast is clear. The choice is even clearer. Vote for the Barbados Labour Party. In closing, I want to remind you who you are. I want to remind you that you are capable of doing anything. People keep telling me, I'm hearing it now. People keep telling me, your man is a big man. Yeah, Prime Minister. Prime ministers cannot be beaten. The biggest lie that a man can tell is the one he tells himself. And it seems to me that Prime Minister Stewart has told that lie to himself. And so he has chosen to do absolutely nothing, even though we are on the face and the brink of an election. You would think that even as a last-minute effort to try and save face, he would start coming wrong and talking to people. But nothing. You would believe that there would be some effort to engage people. But the reason is that they believe that St. Michael's South is such a safe seat for the Democratic Labour Party that they could treat it like a football. Kick it from here to there, yonder and everywhere, and that the people will still vote for them because the people love the Democratic Labour Party. Well, let us separate them very soon from that ignorance. Let us separate them from that idiocy. Because I know when election is called, and they can delay as long as they wish. But time is longer than twine. And someday it has to be called. And when that election is called, I know that I am in a state of absolute readiness. I know that I have spent my time building genuine relationships with the people of Charleston and Bayland and Braffit's Gap and Paddock Road and all over Brittons Still, all through Reese Road. The little part of Flagstaff that I got, I ain't leaving out nobody. So when I hear that there is a house that I did not see, I am shocked. And I say that cannot be so. Perhaps the person was not home, but I have visited every single house in St. Michael's South. And I have said to the people, here I am, your humble servant. Because I know that Jesus said the Son of Man did not come to be served, but that he came to serve. And that if you give me an opportunity, all I will do is serve you. And so I believe that my cries have been heard. I know the election has to be called. I have no doubt in my mind that when people say to me, Humphrey, we are with you, that they are with me. I know that when the elections are called, Kirk Humphrey will be the man. I know that when the elections are called, the Barbados Labour Party will be the party. And I know that when the elections are called, Mia Amor Motley will be the Prime Minister of Barbados. So God bless you, thank you, and good night, ladies and gentlemen.
Vote for the man, vote for the man. 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 On a vote for the man, vote for the man. Humphrey from my mind change for the beer. In this constituency.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have heard Mr. Kirk Humphrey. I want you, as we leave, to listen out for where our next spot meeting will be.